Lesson 2.5 is about fraction exponents, when we see fractions in the exponents. This time we're not going to analyze the behind the scene of the math, what are the calculations that are happening behind. This time we are going to keep it simple. We're just going to go to the formula right away. We can see the A, the M, and N when we see those three letters. It's because we're going to write a formula that works every single time. So for fraction exponents, the first thing we know is when an exponent is in the form of a fraction, it's going to turn into a radical. The answer is going to include a radical. So let's write the radical right away. Our answer is going to have the radical. Then the base of the exponent, as usual, we're just going to copy it, but we copy it inside of the radical. The base of the exponent goes inside of the radical. The numerator of the fraction in the exponent is the exponent of the a inside of the radical. And the denominator of the fraction in the exponent becomes the index of the fraction. And this is how we can turn an exponent in form of a fraction into a radical. Or vice versa, of course, we can also go the other way around. Now let's put this into practice. A to the power of 3 over 4. First, because of the fraction, we know this is going to be a radical. So let's write the radical right away. The radical is there. Then we take the base of 8, and we're going to copy it inside of the radical. The numerator of the fraction is the exponent of the 8 inside of the radical. The denominator of the fraction is the index of the radical. So a to the power of 3 over 4 turns into the fourth root of a to the power of 3. But let's do it one more time. 16 to the 1/2. And this is an example that you may want to take a screenshot, save the video, or write it for later, because this, what we're going to explain right now, is one of the most useful tools we will have in algebra, geometry, trigonometry, calculus, differential equations, in almost every aspect of math. Let's do it. We know because of the exponent of a fraction, this is going to be a radical. Then we take the 16 and we copy the 16 inside of the radical because that's the base. Then the numerator is an exponent of 1. So that's the exponent of the 16 inside of the radical. And then we have the denominator of 2. So the denominator is the index of the radical. But let's remember this real quick. When a number has an exponent of 1, we don't really write that exponent. So we can delete this number 1. And then on the same manner for radicals, when we have a 2 in the index of the radical, that's the default radical, a 2. So we can actually not write the 2 when we have a 2 in the index of the radical. So what we have right now is the square root of 16. So, and remember this for the future in math, when you see an exponent of 1/2, that is a square root, or vice versa. When you see a square root, that's going to turn into the exponent of 1/2. And the square root of 16 is simply 4. Let's do one more problem just to make this a little bit harder and to have like a really nice example to finish up this video. We have the two properties we just learned in lesson 2.4 and lesson 2.5 together. First, we have the base of the exponent is a 7. So let's simply take that base and copy. Then, because we have an exponent of an exponent, it means we need to multiply them. So we multiply the fractions. 5 over 3 multiplied times 2 over 9. This, what we see right here, is a multiplication of fractions, which we learned in lesson 1.2. You can review that video if you want to practice, but I'm also leaving the formula here. You can take a screenshot, you can pause the video, and try to work this multiplication of fractions. Then, this is the answer after you multiply the fractions. So you get 10 over 27. And now, we know the exponent is a fraction, so we know the answer is going to have a radical. The base of the exponent is a 7, so we copy the 7 inside of the radical. The numerator of the exponent is a 10, so that is the exponent of the 7. And the denominator of the exponent is a 27, so that is the index of the radical. And this is how we turn a fraction exponent into a radical. Of course, most likely, and it's recommended to do a number like this to put it into the calculator to get a more accurate answer. For more math lessons like this one, visit our website, mathusermanual.com, or follow us on Instagram at mathusermanual.